On the show this week, we have Faiz Rezwan, Executive Director, Prestige Group.
Golf course without real estate is not a profitable business. The key to making profits on golf courses is real estate.
In news, Rory McIlroy adds Texas Open to get ready for the Masters. And Digvijay Singh finishes tied 10th on final day of inaugural Chiang Mai Golf Classic.
Hello and welcome to Tea Time. Today with me, Chaiti Narula. We're standing right here in Bangalore at the Prestige Golfshire. Now, there are many reasons why people build golf courses. One is, of course, to give the sport the much needed impetus. The other reasons are to make housing communities out of it, golfing communities around the fairway as well. So today we're standing right here at Prestige and we're going to find out from the Executive Director of the Prestige Group, Faiz Rezwan, who is joining us today on the show, as to why they came up with this lovely concept here in Bangalore. Faiz, welcome to Tea Time today.
Hi Chaiti, nice to meet you.
Indeed, a pleasure to have you on the show, and thank you so much for welcoming us to Prestige Golfshire as well.
There's a lot to tell you on the show. I'm going to surprise you with my favorite hole on the course.
Really? Come,
let's go.
Let's take a look at that. So you're an avid golfer, Faiz. When did you take on to golf?
Well, Chaiti, I started golf when I was about 15 years old. It's thanks to my mom and dad. Dad's an avid golfer and mom played golf too. She's won a few tournaments and I'd be out on the course playing with her when I was really young.
It's lovely to have a golfing family, born in a golfing family like this.
Yeah, it's a great feeling because I think that's what drove me into building this property. The sport really got onto me.
Faiz, you went to King's London.
Yeah.
What did you study at King's?
Well, studying I didn't do too much of, but yeah, I was there. Spent 3 years in London at King's College. I didn't get to play much golf or, you
found yourself more on a horseback riding at the Hyde Park?
I did.
Because you are an equestrian enthusiast as well.
I came back from London about 10 years ago and I basically started riding and playing golf when I came back. My family was really concerned that I wasn't working, so what they did was they gave me this little project, 300 acres, and they asked me to build a golf course.
So now you are this is completely your baby, you are heavily involved in making this picturesque. Just look at the landscape, it's like humongous, it's beautiful.
In India, I would say we are the only ones.
Right.
The many reasons that I would say this is because, first of all, it's a link-style golf course and it's very similar to a Scottish design, what you see in St. Andrews, the most talked about golf course.
Right.
Secondly, we have a company that's managing the course from the US, which is called Troon Golf. 200 courses in America and maybe about 400 all around the world.
Right.
There's a lot more to the property. We've got a Marriott hotel coming up with 300 rooms. And basically when we designed the property, we designed it keeping the lady in mind because we know the guys like to be out playing golf. And
the women like to be at the Marriott and enjoying
at the spa, correct. So we have a nice creche for children and we have a spa for the ladies.
You know, what are the property prices like this? Because obviously this is not a primary home that I will buy. Once I'm done owning a primary home, like the cars that I want, vacationing the world, that's when I will say, okay, let's buy a home now around the golf course. So how much would I have to shell out to buy a home in a golf course like this?
Well, I would say that the prices here vary between 5 to 10 crores.
Now, you're an equestrian enthusiast as well.
Yes.
What all do you follow? Do you follow horse racing, polo, show jumping, I believe?
Yes.
Apart from golf as well. How did you take on to this interest of equestrian sports?
Well, I came back from college in 2002 from London and I had a lot of time on my hands and I found that the best way to spend your time is to stay healthy and stay fit.
Right.
So I decided to be out on outdoors, play a lot of golf and do some riding. I used to ride a lot as a kid.
Now, golf and equestrian sports seem to have a lot in common. You know, there's a lack of proper infrastructure in this country. There is a lack of sports management companies to manage a sport like this. There is not enough corporate funding coming into sports like this. But you know, it's ironical because the richest and the creme de la creme of the society are the ones involved in sports like this. How do you think then that we can demystify the sport and bring it from the classes to the masses?
I would say that when you look at courses, there are many courses like in the city that are not very expensive. It's very hard to get into these clubs because they're all membership clubs. And
great, so that's great news for the viewer.
Yes, and I say that golf used to be an expensive sport many years ago, but it isn't as expensive as it used to be because you know, golf sets now don't cost too much, and every set of clubs that you want are available in the country itself.
Are the corporate sponsorships enough to give the sport the much needed leg up in this country?
I believe that it's very seasonal, and we have seen a pickup in the past few months. Ever since the turn of 2013, we have seen every weekend there's been a tournament at Golfshire, and it has really picked up.
What is it that leads to the corporates to come in and promote a sport like this?
Generally, corporates come into a property and want to promote themselves, kind of build a relationship between themselves and their customers, and kind of have an interaction and kind of build a bond with their customer, and they find it very easy because when they get out on a golf course and they interact with the customers, they find that the customers always come back and are more loyal to them, and which is why I find a lot of corporates coming out and hosting these events.
Interesting. On that note, we're going to take a quick break right here on Tea Time. When we return, we will remain in conversation with, as cliched as it sounds, none other than Faiz Rezwan, who is developing Prestige Golfshire with much passion. Stay tuned to ET Now.
India definitely has a chance in the Olympics. The sport has never been in the Olympics ever, and this is the first time that we are going to be in the Olympics.
Welcome back to Tea Time, and we're still in conversation with Faiz, and it's time now, Faiz, for us to tee off. On this segment, we'll particularly focus on how the Prestige Golfshire is very different from other golf courses in this country, and of course, how golfing is an absolute way of living life as well. Incredible shot, Faiz.
Thank you so much.
So now, creating an increased demand for world-class golf in India, is that being really fueled by emergence of these new golf courses, or with the fact that so many of our golfers are going to the international platform and proving a point?
I believe
as
that
players,
golf is definitely picking up in the country, and there are a lot of people developing properties with real estate and kind of indulging on the sport. But I find that in the country we need to have more golfers that are on the circuit and that are playing golf internationally, who are seen on television, and it does a lot for golf in the country.
You know, the other way to give the sport the right edge is, of course, introducing golf in the Olympics as well. And this now, the latest is that it will be introduced in the Olympics. Yes. How far it is a good news for the sport as a whole?
I believe that India definitely has a chance in the Olympics. The sport has never been in the Olympics ever, and this is the first time that we are going to be in the Olympics.
Right.
And for us to figure somewhere in the top 10 in the Olympics is definitely going to pick up the sport. I find that anytime there's a gold winner in the Olympics, for example, boxing or a silver in badminton like we had last year,
right,
definitely we see an improvement in the sport in our country.
That's interesting. Now, building an amazing golf course like this one, how much money does it require? How much land does it require?
For a golf course, I would say anywhere between 100 and 150 acres is required. But nowadays, just building a golf course without any real estate doesn't make any sense. And it is expensive building a golf course.
Because buying that much land in this day and age must be really very expensive.
Well, there are a couple of problems when it comes to building a golf course. The first problem is acquiring land, like you said. The second problem is that you don't get large parcels of contiguous land. 3, water. Water seems to be a big problem on golf courses. And 4 is a lot of the people who sell you the land on golf courses are villagers, and they are uneducated people who really don't know what is coming up.
Right.
And they seem to pose a big problem when it comes to building your boundary wall and completing your construction, because they all want to come back and ask for more.
And how much cost does it involve to build it?
An average
something
cost
of this nature
would be about $1 million to $2 million per hole is an average cost to build a world-class golf course.
So when you have 18 holes, you're talking about anything to the tune of about 30 to 40 million US dollars, isn't it?
Yes.
So would you foray into giving Bombay one of these courses, or is there a problem in Bombay to acquire land of this nature?
I would say that to have a course like this in Bombay would be very difficult, because definitely land is an issue there.
Right.
But there are smaller formats of golf that could work in Bombay. We could do a 9-hole...
Like a Cayman style?
A Cayman style, yeah. A 9-hole par 3 course that doesn't require more than 30 acres. We could also do a course which is lit at night. There's a lot of things we could do with...
Are you planning though to do any of these and make a foray into Bombay as well with golf courses?
Well, I would say that we'd like to make a success out of this golf course before venturing out to doing any courses outside the city.
Golfing estates, are they a way of life, an absolute way of life in your opinion?
Golfing
and
estates...
they're picking up in this country. When you see communities around a golf course and people living around a golf course, are these communities picking up in this country?
Yeah, I definitely believe that living on golf courses are a way of life, simply because golf is a sport that's played by children, men, women of all ages. You have people of 80, 85 years old playing golf today. And I find that, after a retirement age of 60, 65, one would want to would have so much time. And I see that golf would be a great sport, because it takes about 4 or 5 hours to play a round of golf. It's a good exercise, and I see myself out on the course when I'm that old, spending a lot of time on the course playing golf.
Okay, time now for us to play our chip shot.
Didn't go.
So talking about Prestige Group now, it's a listed company. You all started off in 1986. How did you all start off? Because throughout the course of the years, there was a lot of diversification done into various sectors as well. And what next for 2013? Is expansion on the cards from what I understand for this year?
I would say that we had an IPP a couple of months back, and which turned out to be a huge success. We are now a fully listed public company. We are growing, we are expanding. I think our base is mainly in the south, Cochin, Hyderabad and Chennai. Bangalore definitely, and if there are opportunities in elsewhere in the country, we'd definitely be happy to grab them.
You know, interesting, we're going to talk a little more about the targeted revenue for 2014 and 2015 as well on the other side of this break. The conversation does continue with Faiz Rezwan of Prestige Constructions, and we're going to throw some light on real estate as well on the other side of this break.
Golf course without real estate is not a profitable business. The key to making profits on golf courses is real estate.
Welcome back. We're still in conversation with Faiz Rezwan of Prestige Constructions and Prestige Golfshire as well. We're standing right here at the putting green now. What's not really green is making golf courses into a profitable business. Are you making profits at all?
Well, there's two ways of looking at it. Making a golf course without real estate is not a profitable business. The key to making profits on golf courses is real estate. But I find after 1 year of completing this course, it is very difficult to manage your greens, and it is very expensive. It's an ongoing process, it's an everyday expenditure, the costs are really high. Overall, running and operating a golf course is very expensive and is not profitable. The only
so how long before you start making profits on a golf course that you have just created?
It would take roughly 5 years before you start seeing breaking even actually.
Now talking about real estate, what's your targeted revenue like for FY13 and of course FY14 and 15 as well going forward for Prestige Constructions, which is your listed company?
Well, the great news is that our last quarter went off very well, and in the past 3 quarters, what we were to achieve in this FY13 we achieved in the last 3 quarters. So it is a heads up for all of us, and we are looking good. I think we have exceeded all expectations with our revenues, and I find that the market is kind of stable and is looking good for us, because at the end of the day the key is location, location, location.
So the promising job scenario in Bangalore, is that fueling demand for property in Bangalore?
Definitely has been an uptake in the job scenario in terms of the IT companies. For example, Cisco, Juniper and the other companies have taken a lot of space from Prestige, and we have seen an increase in this, and this also fuels the economy, and also have noticed a rise in our residential sales thanks to this.
You said rise in residential sales. So is there any kind of downtick that you're seeing in the office space segment at this point of time?
The office has been moving very slow of late, but recently we have seen an increase in the rentals in our office spaces, and we have noticed that the market has really improved in the residential segment, and every project we've launched in FY12 has even sold out even before launching without any ads or anything.
So considering the current macroeconomic scenario with the headwinds as well, do you think the Prestige Group is in a position to generate the right kind of positive cash flows?
We have a lot of projects that are coming into rental realization. That's kind of something we've already achieved. In terms of sales, we have exceeded our numbers in the 3rd quarter, and looking at the future, we have some very interesting projects that are coming up, especially in South Bangalore, and I find that these locations drive in a lot of traffic and are very popular, so I find a lot of people actually looking to buy these properties. As far as the market is concerned, I feel that as long as the market remains this way, I think we're going to be looking good.
So Bangalore seems to have a pretty conducive environment for property acquisition. Your take? on that?
Yeah, I would say that we are running out of property in CBD Bangalore, and a lot of property that is available in Bangalore is outside the city limits.
Right.
We find that a lot of our property that comes to Prestige is from repeat business. So we've had landowners where you know that Prestige is famous for joint developments.
Right.
And we have a lot of property owners who come back to us for repeat business, and I find that most of the properties that are sold in Bangalore or joint developments done in Bangalore, the first person that people come to Prestige before going to any other developer.
So we've seen a lot of corporate social responsibility exuded by the Prestige Group. What next in terms of CSR initiatives from your company? Of course, this is a city of gardens, and it's a beautiful city of gardens. Do you like to see this as a city of golfing estates next?
Yeah, why not? Bangalore is a beautiful city. It has a perfect weather for golf. I definitely like to see more golf courses coming up in Bangalore, and Prestige being open to building more courses in this city.
Interesting. On that note, let's finish our game. Lovely.
Well done.
Thank you so much. Now, your real estate outlook for the year going forward?
We have done really well this year, and I feel this coming year is going to be really good as well. Looking at the next year, I feel our revenues should increase by another 10 to 15%.
On that note, thank you so much, Faiz, for joining us on the show today and hosting us here at the Prestige Golfshire as well.
Thank you so much for coming, Chaiti. We look forward to hosting you here again.
Thank you so much, Faiz. So that's all that we have for you today on this episode of Tea Time. We will continue bringing more interesting guests on Tea Time as always. I will see you next week again, and as cliched as I may always sound, may the sport be with you.